Hey, Shalom, Meshra. I want to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kodash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth, more sincerity. It's just going to be a quick one on, the topic. Many are called, but few are chosen. It's not just fixing my mic. Get that there, slug. Right, because, I was messaging someone who at some point, he was, I don't know if he was ever on this, picked his side or whatever, what have you, but, actually, he said, GMS were my brethren, or whatever. He said he's no longer with, the GMS, and he's moved over to GOCC. And, it's one of them ones where when you've got the videos, when you've got everything, it's, I just say, all I said is, hey, man, may the Lord, guide you to the right path, man, because, it's the end of the day, man. What does the scripture say? My sheep hear my voice. Let me start on that, right? This is John 10, set 27. It says, my sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. Right, so if you're the Lord's elect, then really and truly, the Lord will give you the right doctrine. The Lord will give you the name. Because through those names you shall be saved. Right. But yeah, that's just the real of the situation, man. It says Matthew 22:14 says, for many are called, but few are chosen. Right, IUIC, they've got a whole load of men, right? They've got a very clean setup. I saw them guys. I didn't go talk to them. I saw them across the road, down here in London. They've got the the big speakers. The HD camera with the proper cameraman tripod. They got the leaflets here, all in uniform or whatever. But that ain't the truth. Right, that ain't the truth. Right, the Lord is looking for that small sanctuary. Why? You look at the story of Gideon. Right, that started off with many people, and then the Lord cut it down till there was 300 men left. Right, why? Because the Lord likes the underdog. The Lord likes to make a statement. Right, so it's Matthew 22:14 again. It's for many are called, like I said, IUIC. And you got all of these other alphabet camps, right? And then you have you have all these other alphabet camps. You've got Christianity, you've got Islam, right? Teaching the doctrine as the Lord has given us, which I believe to be the truth, right? I honestly believe that this doctrine that we've been given to be the truth, right? There's very few of us, right? And we fit, the description of the men of the Lord, right? We fit the description of, let me get this. This is Matthew 5:11. It says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you. When they do that, right? It says, and persecute you. And they do that to GMS, right? Starting with the apostles on down. And shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake, right? So, hey, this is how, this is written in red. This is how Yahushua said, what Yahushua said would happen to the men of the Lord, right? They shall be reviled, persecuted, and people will speak false things about them, and they've done that. You had the case of, the quote unquote rape doctrine, which is simple, right? But then they started, calling, like I said, from the apostles on down, pedophiles, rapists, this, that, and the other, right? When that was slander, right? And these were the same people. This is what's, and this doesn't happen, to anyone but the men of the Lord. At GMS, starting with the apostles on down. Yeah, you have the Christians, they'll get on all Israelite camps, right? They'll get on all Israelite doctrines. But then you have, then you have amongst the Israelites, then you have everyone getting on GMS. Right, so that should show you where the truth is at. Right? It says, for many are called, but few are chosen. Right? It says Matthew 7:13 says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way, right, that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that which go in there, right? So the big mega religions, Christianity, Islam, whatever, that's a wide gate, and a broad way that leadeth to destruction, and people that are in those, right, they're gonna be destroyed because they ain't got the right doctrine, whatever, what have you, right? Whereas, like I said, this truth is small. There aren't a lot of us out there. You think about it. I'll give the the GMS London Central camp. There's maybe like what, maybe at most 20 of us, if that. Right, then you got the couple brothers that watch, week in, week out. But in comparison to just the people that walk past in 10 seconds, that's nothing. Right? Atheism, that's a big, wide and broad gate here in the West. Right? Belief in self, science. Right? It says, because straight is the gate, right, narrow obstacles. It's from the that word straight, STRAIT, from the Greek G4728 stenos, right, narrow, from obstacles standing close about, straight. See if we gotta get more. Go stand, make firm. No, not much more. From the root word, but you look that up. As like a place of difficulty. Let's see if I can get it in the dictionary. Yeah, narrow passage of water connecting two seas. So narrow is tight, right? It says used in reference to a situation characterized by a specified degree of trouble or difficulty. So right, so because difficult and narrow is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Few. So if you do find it, then Matthew 13:16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Right? Because you got a lot of people that can't see and can't hear. To go from, say, GMS to then GOCC, which people have done. Ultimately, it means one thing. It means you just wasn't chosen, man. Right? That's what Apostle say. If a nigga can't get it, we're moving on. Right? Because who are you to fight against the Lord? The Lord has predestined man from foundations of the earth. In what lot he's gonna stand. Right? Let me get a couple of those real quick. Right? This is Jeremiah 1:5. It says, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee." Right, it's the Lord, referencing Jeremiah. Right, it says before he was formed, the Lord knew him. Right, it says, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Right, so before Jeremiah came to being, right, as in the flesh, as Jeremiah, right, the Lord already knew him, and he knew what lot he would fulfill. And that was to be a prophet unto the nations. So, and that's the same with the man that is, destined, to be destroyed. Right? The Lord has sanctified that man to be destroyed. And who are you to fight against the Lord and be like, oh Lord, this man should be saved. Right? Ephesians 1:4. It says, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world. Right, it says in reference to the elect, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua Mashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So, if you're the elect, you've been predestined before the foundation of the earth. right? You were chosen before, like, you know, like the theme of this video is, many are called, few are chosen. You were chosen, right? I've got two more. This is 1 Corinthians 9:24. Says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, right? So run that ye may obtain, right? So, hey, you can't just, be happy that you took part in the marathon. You know, people are like, yeah, man, you know, you tell someone you ran a marathon. Yeah, man, run a marathon, man. Oh, shit, you know, you finished? No, I just did like 3 miles. People are going to be like, well, you didn't run a marathon then. You know, even if you said, oh, man, I got so close to crossing the line, but, you know, I was 100 meters shy and I fainted, right? People will be like, ah, man, that's such a shame. But, hey, you didn't actually finish. Well, the whole thing is about finishing, man. Right? You know, to use, you know, racing as an example. Right? Because at the end of the day, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Right? It says, so run that ye may obtain, and every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things. Temperate meaning balanced. Right? Because if you're unbalanced, that's how you faint before the finish line. Right? You know, you get guys that using marathons once again, you know, basically long distance running. You'll get guys that will sprint, right? You know, at the beginning, but when it comes to near the finish line, they've used all their energy and then they can't finish. No, you need to be someone that's temperate, balanced. You need to have the right rhythm, right tempo to run that race so that you can cross the finish line. And just like this truth, if you're unbalanced, right, you go around just just doing over righteous stuff, man, right? And then things that will just basically, you know, make you detest the truth, hate the truth, and then, you know, fall out. But what does the scripture say? It says you weren't among us in the first place, right? It says, and every man that strives for mastery is temperate in all things, balanced. It says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible, right? So, you know, guys that you know, that try to be masters. For instance, you get Ronaldo, the footballer, right? Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, he strives for mastery. He's not happy if he isn't winning, you know, best player in the world. You know, that's where he strives to be, but that's a corruptible crown, right? We should strive to be the best man that we can be in the lot that we can have, right? Because, not everyone is, you know, scriptures talk about, you know, the different lots, you know, that have members. No, it says, I think there's one in Romans. Just want to grab the point. This is Romans 12:4. Says, for as we have many members in one body, you know, and all your body has, you know, has several different members, and they all have purpose, right? You got your toes, for instance. You know, without your toes, you can't balance, right? You know, the hair in your nose has a purpose. The hair in your ear has a purpose, right? You know, you may not, think of it in great significance as, say, as your heart, right? For instance, hey, I'll just keep it real. The hair between your bum, that has a purpose. You know, I worked with a guy, you know, who took that cancer treatment, man. You know, he made him lose all the hair on his body, and he was like, man, without, you know, when he lost the hair between his bum, you know, that caused chafing, man, right? And, you know, it was one of them ones where I was like, shit, so, you know, even that has importance, right? It says, and all members have not the same office. Right? I mean, he was just talking, you know, I wasn't directed at me for anyone, you know, tries, you know, I was, you know, spoken out about in the workplace, and I overheard that shit. But it was, you know, it was amazing. It was like, right, you know, even the hair between your arse crack has a purpose, right? It says, for as we have many, and where it goes to show you, man, it's like, you know, some people might be like, look, man, this individual, he just has this law, whatever, but that law is important, right? You may not even and that goes to, those brothers themselves, right? You might not understand your importance in the body, but you're still a part of the body, right? You're no longer there, and then, it's missed, right? So, you're in the body, don't know, the Lord give the increase, man. Don't try to overstep your mark. Don't try and make yourself more glorious, than you have, than it has to be, right? Like they say, your fingers have a purpose. When you got too many fingers, you're gonna be like, man, what the fuck is this shit? Let's say, you got a right leg and a left leg. If your left leg's, right leg's like, look, man, I'm the right leg, I want to be, this, but then your right leg becomes taller than your left leg, then it's unbalanced. And what did we read here? And everything, every man that strives for mastery is temperate in all things. So, it's all about balance, in yourself and in the body. And ultimately, it's the Lord that manages all of that, right? So I'll read it. So Romans 12:4, so far as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Yahushua, and everyone members one of another, right? So I'm going to head back to 1 Corinthians 9 and 26. Says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it under subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway, right? And to give you this testimony, there was a guy that that the Lord used to teach me the truth, right? And from that you have myself, my blood brother, one of the and two other brothers in the camp, right now. So 4 men that that are in the camp, that the Lord used to get in the camp, but the man himself he was a castaway, right? And that's why it's it's all about humility, because the Lord can use you and get rid of you, right? So you just got to pray. And I'll end on this. Psalms 51:11 says, cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me, right? And that's I know Apostle Rokar speaks on this a lot, and that's something you should pray, because that's ultimately what it is. Just hope that the Lord has mercy on you, and that he takes not your Holy Spirit away from you, because the apostles started, first and foremost, I've seen this happen to many a man, right? And that should fill you with fear, like many a man that at first you thought, oh man, it's definitely a man of the Lord, and then they fall by the wayside, right? So, hey, Lord's will, that was edifying. Until the next time, Shalom.